Hi, it's Alaska Granny. I've been trying to tell myself I have plenty of food. I don't need to keep adding to my stockpile. I need to rotate it a little better. And then you look at the news and you see earthquakes, hurricanes, wildfires, crop shortages, droughts. There's lockdowns in Europe. There are lockdowns in Australia. COVID cases on the rise. Even in the United States, they're making vaccines mandatory to go into restaurants and indoor places in some of our cities. I decided it was a great opportunity to make an extra bin with just some easy breakfast choices. These can last in the pantry for several years, and then I know that I have additional meals that I can provide breakfast for my family if I needed to. So let me show you the things that I bought at Fred Meyer's today. When I went to Fred Meyer's today, most of the shelves seemed to be full. There were places that weren't completely full with the foods that you might want, but it looked better than it did a month ago, and so that is somewhat comforting. They also had some canning jars and even canning lids, but the prices are quite expensive. Sometimes you have to just pay what things cost. You need to be able to supply yourself with the things that you need, and that's one of the reasons it's important to be prepping today. Things are going up in price. Everything costs more. And so the prices you pay today for things that will feed you and help you tomorrow can be a savings in the long term. First, I bought the bin. I've been putting together some different bins in my stockpile, and I find that it's a convenient way to keep things together. They're pretty sturdy and they're able to fit away in the spot that I've been wanting. So the first item I bought to put in my breakfast bin was a big old bag of the Krusteaz pancake mix because you only need to add water. Next, I bought some butter flavored syrup. If you can't have butter in your stockpile, you can have the flavor of butter with your syrup, which will make your pancakes taste a little bit better. I like to eat oatmeal, and it was back in stock, so I got a big box of oatmeal. To go with the oatmeal, I got a package of craisins and I got another package of raisins. I had seen these on sale a few weeks ago and they were only $1.50 a box. And so I was glad to see that they still had a few boxes at that price. So the box of raisins and the craisins are how I like to eat oatmeal. If you like brown sugar, add some of that. Whatever toppings you like to go with your oatmeal or your hot cereal, make sure that you have some of that in your stockpile. I bought a bag of the Malt-O-Meal Honey Nut Scooters. They're like Cheerios. And I had purchased these before and I realized that this is the perfect size that can fit into my gallon-size Mylar bag that has a zip-top seal. So since the cereal fits inside these bags, that makes it easy to store it in the bin because these have a zip top, and then if you want to take some out and use it, you can. But they're super sealed. These are far more airtight than whatever the cereal comes in. And so I can pour it right in here and squeeze out the air. I don't use an oxygen absorber because these aren't going to last more than a few years. And I like to save the oxygen absorbers for the longest lasting foods that I need to have for 25 or 30 years. I'm going to put this cereal into a Ziploc bag like this one, and then it's going into the bin. Cereal needs milk, and I have some powdered milk. This is the Nido Fortificata. It's a powdered whole milk that my family likes, and so this is the powdered milk of my choice. This doesn't last as long as non-fat dry milk, which can last up to 30 years, and the Nido Fortificata can last for a few years. But if I'm going to store food, I want food that I enjoy eating. I don't want food that I don't like. So it doesn't make sense to me to store foods just in case in a time of emergency when you're really hungry and having a hard time. That's not the time I want to eat food that I really don't like at all. That's the time when you're going to be happier that you have food that you actually enjoy. So there's enough milk in this jar to make 4 quarts of Nido Fortificata milk to go with the cereal. I bought a few cans of canned fruit, and these are packed in juice rather than in sugar. One of the problems with canned fruits in my experience is these don't last past their best by use by sell by date. It actually is an expiration date because so many of the cans have begun to leak, or the fruit inside just wasn't even tasty anymore. The consistency was wrong and it wasn't enjoyable. And so if you're going to store canned fruits, make sure that you're rotating them closer to the date, simply because you want to get your money's worth out of your food storage, and you want to store foods that you want to eat and that you're willing to rotate and then replace. I bought a package of Tang because this is something that gives you your vitamin C. Your body can't store vitamin C, so it's important to have a way to have vitamin C every day. And Tang is a great long-lasting beverage that you can put away, and then you'll have it if you need it. Plus, depending on what your water situation is, if your water is not the tastiest, this can help make it more palatable. Here's a real find, bacon Spam. They had about 8 cans and I bought 4 of them, and this will be nice for people in my family who insist that they need breakfast meat. They want sausage, they want bacon, they want something, and now I'll have the bacon Spam if somebody is craving a little bit of protein meat with their breakfast. I also found the Knorr size, the pasta that's chicken flavored, which I think is actually pretty tasty. It's not a breakfast food, but it could be because it's all in your mind. Whatever you want to eat, that's what you can have. It doesn't matter what time of day it is. And sometimes we don't feel like actually eating breakfast. There's plenty of room in my bin. These were only $1 each, and then they're easy to cook. You only need to add water. It's suggested that you add butter, but you don't need to. And if this is a meal that's for $1, I can just add water and cook it a little bit, then it's something to include with your food choices. There's still plenty of room in the bin. You could keep adding whatever you want, but these were the foods that I bought today. There's room in here to add some coffee, there's room to add hot chocolate, there's room to add tea bags, and I bought a lot of those already too. So whatever foods that you think you might want, you need to stock up on them. Then you have options. If you don't have any way to cook something, you have some cereal and milk. If you do have a way to cook something, you can make pancakes or oatmeal. But even if you don't have a way to cook something, the oatmeal can still be used to make overnight oats. So when you're looking over at the meals that you enjoy eating, try to figure out all of the parts that go with it and how can I have that in my prepper pantry. How can I have those in a longer lasting way that I can add and have it in my pantry so I can just go and grab some food if I need to. Then it doesn't matter if the power goes out, if the water stops running, if with these crazy things keep happening, you're still going to be able to shelter in place if you need to, grab and go if you must, but you're going to have enough to feed your family no matter what the future brings. It seems like we may have to hunker down for the long term, but we just don't know. So I want to make sure that I can hunker down longer because I have more food in my pantry, and it helps me make the best of whatever comes my way. If you enjoyed my video, I hope you'll share it with someone else you think might like it. Please subscribe to the Alaska Granny channel.